Ark has been busy. He's revived plants, animals, and most recently, humans. Now, it's time to collect demographic data from dungeons, enemies, and the design spaces they occupy, tonight on the Commune podcast. Hello and welcome everybody to the Commune podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the first couple of dungeons from Chapter 3 of Terranigma. But before we get into anything, I just wanted to ask, Wario Fan 63, how have you been doing?
I've been doing just fine.
Alright.
Very fine, in fact.
Alright, let's not go overboard.
Double fine.
Oh no. Not in this podcast.
Oh.
Adrian, how have you been doing?
I've been doing fine. Been playing more Super Metroid, Zelda 2, Second Quest, Terranigma, and my last Gamefly game before I end my subscription, Yoshi's New Island.
Jesus.
What?
You play a lot.
It's not that much. I mean, I've only managed to get like half an hour out of Zelda 2 and then another half out of Zelda 1, and then most of the time's been going to Super Metroid and Yoshi's New Island.
I see, so you've maintained some focus there.
Yeah.
Alright.
Zelda's a bit of a low priority at the moment.
So I was intending to come back to ask what you had been playing. Was that?
I'm sorry, did I preemptively answer your question?
That's fine. Oh, but I just want to make sure before moving on, was there anything else like you wanted to discuss more in depth about any of that?
Oh yeah, I wanted to make an amendment about this way that it's not as open as I made it out in the last podcast, because I actually went and then drew out on graph paper, and it's actually a lot more straightforward than it is. It's just that because it's so wide that you don't see the whole thing in the camera, it's easy to lose track of where you are if you're not drawing that map in your head. So there's like 2 or 3 alternate paths that go to like treasure chests, and then you go back onto the main path, and that's about it. I made that out to be way more open than it actually is. It's actually not. It's just literally open, but not the other kind of open.
That's harkening back to yourself's notion that exploration is just seeing whatever is not on screen. And so in Zwei, there's a lot of exploration, just finding out what is within the bounds of the room.
Yeah.
Alright. And Shouty, how have you been doing?
I've been doing okay.
Alright. What have you been playing?
I've been playing Gyakuten Kenji 2, or as the fan translators like to call it, Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth Prosecutor's Path.
Is that 2 subtitles?
Yes.
So,
they say that Japanese titles to things are long-winded and kind of meaningless, but here, localized titles for Ace Attorney games are so long and all over the place.
So is this a game we didn't get?
Yeah, we didn't get this game, so that's why it got a fan translation.
How is it?
I don't know, it's, compared to the first one, I think it has a little more in-depth story elements, but the cases are kind of too long and drawn out at times.
Okay. So it's a little more.
And I think I'm finding the formula for who I should suspect as the antagonist of each case. It's usually someone who's either not seen a lot or is usually covered in many layers of clothing, so their breakdown is a lot more spectacular.
You're starting to see through the seams.
Yeah.
Does that ruin it for you?
No. Sometimes there's satisfaction in guessing things right.
Okay.
I agree.
Do you have experience with that kind of game, Adrian?
Super Metroid has a lot of that.
Where you can tell what the game designers are doing, but it's still satisfying to play out anyway.
Yeah, and it's always fun finding things without having to use either the X-ray scope or the map that you download from one of the map stations.
All right.
I thought you were going to say because Ridley's in a big wearing layers of cardigans.
Yeah, because I was about to say, normally the map is like all those areas that normally would have been bull in the first game, like how was I supposed to know the game? When you download the maps, they show you those rooms, and then when you actually, like Kraid's lair, it's kind of hidden right behind the elevator. But if you download the map for Brinstar, and look at the map, you'll notice, hey, there's a room over here, but there's a wall here. How do I get there? And that's when you're supposed to shoot the wall and blow it up. There's actually a similar trick in that in the first Legend of Zelda in level 5, where they do that exact same thing. So, yeah, something cool.
So how did you find out that the download map gave you those clues if you had already been there?
Oh, how did I find... Oh, no, that's just something that I assumed.
Oh. I honestly don't remember one way or the other. It's been too long.
I've only downloaded the map for... Wait,
Criteria?
Criteria. So I didn't have the map for Brinstar, but that's what I'm assuming what they did for how players are supposed to, suss out where Kraid is. And that first area that allows you to even get to Brinstar in the first place.
Okay. And Wario fan, what have you been playing?
I just got done playing some Danganronpa.
And
What
I
is
hear
that?
I hear this name a lot, and I always forget what it is.
It's like I think the name itself is like Japanese onomatopoeia. The title is like that, but it was used so much like when discussing the game that it just stuck for the localization. So that's what it's known as here too. But the actual gameplay is like a weird take on Ace Attorney games. Normally you present contradictions at statements, but this time you're like literally directly contradicting at the statements. You're just, the words just sort of exist, they hover in space, and that you have to aim at them and shoot the contradiction at it.
Is it like a shmup or what?
I know exactly what he's talking about. There was something like that in Trauma Team, the adventure game sections, where they had stuff like that where the character will say something and you click on the word that sort of indicates whatever medical condition they have.
Was it like that, Wario fan?
It's I haven't played Trauma Team, but I think it's like that, but it's a little more over the top.
Over the top in what way?
It's
like
just,
zombie cancer?
It's over the top. It's just so over the top.
Like, you mean the story? What is the plot of this game?
I haven't seen Trauma Team. I can't compare. So I'll just.
What is the plot of this game?
It's okay. A bunch of high school students go to a high school, and then they get trapped in the high school. And to escape the high school, you have to kill someone without getting away with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have to kill someone with getting away with it.
I remember there was
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There was another game. I think it was like 999, which
it's
kind of had
a
a
it's got the spirit of 999 and Ace Attorney fused into one.
Wow, I really need to play more of these games because they always have like the coolest premises, and then I never actually play them.
Well, I guess I wouldn't associate your tastes with like visual novel style games.
Really? Why would you say that?
You seem really, I guess I've only heard you talk about action games, but you always seem really mechanically minded.
Oh.
But, if you like reading and stuff, then it would make sense that you would enjoy this kind of game.
Yeah, I do.
Visual novels can have mechanics.
Oh, you mean like in a
Ghost Trick.
Snatcher? The one
Or
that
Ghost
dies.
Trick.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why I kind of enjoy those sections in Terranigma where it's like you talk to someone, you find out that this guy's actually like a doctor who wants a potion, but he needs a special ingredient or whatever, and then you go up into the forest and it's like, oh, hey, there's this weird mushroom thing that gives you that, I don't know what he describes, and then you go in you go in the forest and find the mushroom, and then you give it to the guy, and he's like, oh, this will make everyone sleep, and it's like, oh, wait, I remember there was a big cooking room with a giant pot in it, and then you put the sleeping potion in the pot, everyone in the castle falls asleep, and that's how you figure out to get past that one guard and go to the rooms where you're not supposed to go and progress through the game. And it's like that kind of stuff is really satisfying.
Okay, then that's definitely like what visual novels are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of do that to a much lesser extent in action adventure games where, even like Zelda, they have that kind of thing. Of course, depending on who you ask, they might absolutely hate talking to people and be a total... I don't
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, let's get away from this. This is a can of worms I don't want to open. I'll make that video when I make it.
Can of worms 3D. Yeah, next time we'll have to pull for Jesus Kyofu no Bio Monster. For this upcoming segment, I asked folks to pick a single enemy and really ponder it. How's it work? How's it compare to other enemies? The result is a discussion that touches on gameplay strategies and dungeon design. So this time I wanted to talk about Terranigma enemies, look at them up close, get a sense of the design space that they fill out. And Mario fan, I wanted to look at your enemy first. Which one did you choose?
I chose the Soul Knight in the Sylveon dungeon.
Sylvain?
What did I say?
Sylveon?
What's the difference?
One's a Pokemon, the other's a location.
Oh!
So why'd you choose the Soul Knight?
Well, I suppose honestly I could have chosen either that or the Cursed Armor. But just the idea that when I entered these dungeons, I was very weak to either the living armor types because they're just hard. You would hit them and they would do like 1 or 2 damage and then they would hit you and they would do like 30, 40 damage and it's like, oh no, I'm dying. One thing that I like though, before you hit a point where you can level up and just utterly destroy these guys, you can kind of trap them in a corner and just sort of bash the weapon button and then just sort of push them back, doing minimal damage, but at the same time it's enough that you can do it before they hit you. So it takes minutes, but you can beat these guys even when you're very weak.
So is that satisfying to do?
In a way it is, because it's like these are intimidating enemies here, and then once you figure out a way to catch them off guard like that, and then you beat them, it's like, hey, I can conquer anything in this castle.
So yeah, you've described that it's pretty similar to the Cursed Armor, I think it was called, right?
Right.
Yeah, where it has a really high defense, and also where you can cancel their attack animations by getting them to recoil. Was there anything that made it distinct from the Cursed Armor?
I believe the mace it had was different, right? Or no, it had a shield that the Cursed Armors didn't usually have.
Right. So you have to make sure your attack has like a proper rhythm to it.
Right, yeah, definitely. So those guys have an extra layer of strategy where you have to, you gotta catch them while they're unguarded too. And
I was wondering, what makes those enemies similar to the other enemies in the dungeon? Like the skeletons, the chakras, the bats. Well, maybe not the bats.
Well, I don't know if this is exclusive to the castle, but the chakras and the red skeletons for sure have like a defensive strategy to them.
How do you mean?
Well, the red skeletons, you beat them up and they go boom, and you got to make sure that you don't get in the way of the boom, or else they're gonna catch you. You're like, oh, I'm dead, but watch out! I'm going to throw my dead bones at you, and you're going to take some damage. And then the chakras, they can kind of catch you in their webs if you're not quick enough to avoid those.
Okay, so these are like pretty detailed enemies that you need to learn. It's not like bats or saber wolves where they just sort of go at you.
Right.
You need to take into account what they will do in order to protect yourself.
Exactly.
Did you notice that the Soul Knight was paired with any other enemies?
Well, the first time you encounter it, it's on its own. It's like, it kind of presents itself as like a mid-boss.
Yeah.
And then, later on in the dungeon, you come up to a room with like, 2 of them next to each other there. So, I think that was about the only time where you encountered it after seeing it, after it gives you that first impression, and then I think it, that might supposed to scare you to think oh no, the mid-boss is a common enemy now, what the heck am I gonna do? I spent 30 minutes beating this guy before, now there's two of them?
Actually, you did mention that the mid-boss, he first appears as a mid-boss, and that's one of the few things that he gets paired with. There are 6 things on the sides that will spawn fireballs that shoot at you.
Oh yeah, the candles.
Yeah. So that was neat that, the first instance was kept interesting by having those fireballs keep you on your toes.
That's right.
But the subsequent fights, you don't need to pay attention to. You might want to if you want experience.
Right.
And so their setups are not as intense.
Right. So it's like that first fight's you got this enemy that's basically a cursed armor, which up until that point you've been doing 1 or 2 damage with. Not only that, but he's got a shield. And not only that, but there's candles spitting fireballs at you, so there's a lot to watch out for in that fight.
I think it's pretty dynamic. So do you think it would be fair to pair it with other enemies?
I think in the sense that because it gives you the impression it's a mid-boss, I think it's kind of fair that they kind of put it up against with itself again. Instead of throwing at you a bunch of skeletons or bats around it too, it's just a room with just that mid-boss guy, another one of him, but you can avoid them both if you want to.
Yeah, it might be a little too intense if they gave you genuine challenges. Or not genuine, but, challenges that you were forced to encounter.
Yeah.
Okay. Although Bloody Mary doesn't give me the impression that they had fairness in mind.
No, that's it's just awful.
Yeah.
Bloody Mary is its own. It's awful.
Oh, if anyone is already done, I think I have one comment about the Soul Knights.
Sure, go ahead.
Or not one comment, more like a lot. In general, I'm kind of not fond of these enemies because, see, I've been playing at, I just leveled up to level 19. So one of the things is that these guys take a really long time to kill.
I was 17, so.
Oh god, that's worse.
I'm at 23.
There's also another thing that is, it's the same strategy that I can kind of rely on where I just do constant dash attacks back and forth. And when they take that long to die, yeah, that wears on my thumbs. But I found an even simpler trick that's actually more efficient, but also more kind of brain dead, and that is when you got them back to a wall, you can pretty much just stand there and slowly mash the A button to hit them, and then just stand there, keep doing that, and you'll hit him every single time. He won't even be able to let out an attack. As long as you don't do the rapid fire, because for whatever reason, I don't know, that didn't work.
Yeah,
but yeah.
That was something that Wario Fan was mentioning, that he was discussing that you could cancel their attack animation, you have enough time to do so.
Yeah, but the thing that I find is that it kind of goes into a sort of a Heatman thing where you're kind of just doing the same repetitive action until they die.
Yeah. Enemies also, in this game do often leave themselves open to that, where they won't attack until long after their invincibility animation or invincibility period has expired. So you can back them into a wall and then just repeatedly hit them.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the He-Man, where he goes into a sort of loop that's kind of easy to abuse. The other thing is, there is one Soul Knight that is actually required to kill to open a gate in the right tower.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And that's where I found out you could do that. Otherwise, there's several other areas where they put those things in tight areas, but, the most they ever pair those things up with is, there was only one moment where I was in between two of those things, which you really don't want to be, because even if you can dash attack through one of the chains, the other one can just throw his chain in that very brief period where you are trying to do another dash attack, so
yeah,
I got hit by that. And also their sprites are so huge that it's easy, you hit one and then you dive right into the sprite of the other one. So
ping pong.
Yeah. But otherwise, even then, that trick still worked where if you can separate them. The only difference is that you hit them, they hold up their shield, you walk a little bit, then hit them again, and then just do that over and over. You get them to a wall and then keep doing it until they're dead. But otherwise, the other thing is, with pairing enemies, I don't think they leave themselves much room to be paired with other enemies, because one of the things that I think of when I see those enemies are the ball and chain troopers from Link to the Past. And those are not the kind of enemies that lend themselves to being in groups. Like, you can maybe have one other of the same kind of enemy, but I haven't quite nailed down the reason for it. I think it has to do with how strict the interplay has to be. Whereas with other types of Zelda enemies, like Chews or Wolfos or whatever, you pretty much just hit them whenever you want. But when you have an enemy that does more to react to you, like he puts up a shield, and then has a very long range 2-step attack. Yeah, that's the kind of enemy you don't see paired up with other enemies, because you don't want to put players into impossible situations. And I know the first Zelda definitely has problems with that with the blue Wizrobes.
That was something that made Shin Neketsu Koha really interesting. Towards like the disco area, they started doing that. But yeah, in general, games are not balanced to support pairing up enemies where you have like really tiny windows for attacking.
Yeah.
So the main thought I had on my mind was that they all, aside from the bat, all of the enemies have a long range attack. The Cursed Armor and Soul Knight have the mace, and that's like its own property where it boomerangs in and out and you cannot block it. Both the skeleton and the red skeleton will throw bones and will explode into bones when they die. And those are really easy to see projectiles that go in a straight line, and you can block them.
I didn't realize you could block the bones they threw.
Oh, yeah.
I would either dash attack through them, because the dash attack not only functions as an attack, but also as a way to block most enemies' attacks. So even the ball and chains that the Iron Nut, the whatever Soul Knights that they throw, you can dash attacks right through them.
Okay.
But for the bone enemies, I didn't know that you could just block them.
Yeah, that's important to know for when they blow up.
Yeah.
And that's just in general. It's hard to keep the X block or whatever it's called in mind, because it's so rarely useful.
Yeah. And also you can jump over the bones when they explode.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I don't try to jump over things because I'm not too sure of what the collision rules are. The chakra shoots out a spiderweb, can't be blocked, and the spiderweb like pulls you in. I don't get why, but it does that.
It's like a vacuum.
Yeah.
A spiderweb.
Didn't make any sense.
The chakra will also jump at you.
Yeah, but that's not... I think that's what makes chakra unique amongst the Sylvain enemies, is that it will leap directly at you, whereas other enemies rely more on their long-range attacks to get at you. So I think that's where you would begin talking about Sylvain enemies in general, just like comparing their different long-range attacks. I guess it's also worth noting that it was mentioned that enemies in this dungeon were really easy to back into a corner and hit repeatedly. And one enemy in particular that gets around that problem are the ghouls in Loran, who will, once their head is exploded, they will keep moving at you no matter what, even if you attack them.
Yeah.
So they do a good job of keeping combat dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They have a good counter for you.
Yeah.
And even then, you also have to worry about the other ones in the room, because the twin-tailed ghouls, they actually throw their heads at you.
Yeah.
Explode.
It's pretty funny until you die.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you can only defeat them if they have their heads attached to their bodies.
Yep, that was another thing that makes them harder than the more adult ghouls.
If you want to talk about strict interplay, the ghoul girls will... So you attack them, their head explodes, their next one spawns in, flies at you, the next one spawns in and they don't attack you, and then the flow begins again. So there are a couple of steps that happen from you just attacking, and you have to wait them out.
Yeah.
Before you can attack again.
Oh, I found when I was fighting those enemies that I didn't have to really wait it out, because again, you can just dash attack through it, but you do, you gotta survive, wait out the head coming back, but once it does, that's your chance to get a hit on them, and hopefully kill them. But if they still have more health, then, the fight keeps going.
I guess actually, it's neat that attacking them engages their attack rather than cancels it. That's kind of unique for a Terranigma enemy.
Yeah. Oh, those warlock things in Norfest, when you hit them, they have that little ring of fire that comes out when they die.
I think they spawn that anyway.
Oh.
They just always spawn those. But the collapsing is friggin' annoying.
Not properly leveled.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I am under-leveled, so. But, we're digressing. Shouty, which enemy did you choose?
I chose the bats that are in Norfest.
And what makes it distinct?
You can hide in the trees and come out and surprise you.
Yeah, there's that one screen, I think it's 2 screens after the first bridge screen, where you run past a big opening and then there are like 6 that drop out of trees.
Oh, yeah.
So what made it similar to the other enemies in that dungeon?
It's like the Warlock in that it can give you a status effect that involves not moving around.
Oh, the bats can paralyze you?
Yeah, the bats and the Warlocks can immobilize you in different ways.
Okay. I guess I was comparing them to the Saber Wolves personally in that, like, both of them just, their attack is tracking you.
Oh. There is that as well then.
Yeah. I guess enemies in other dungeons tend to have attacks other than just walking at you, right?
Yeah.
And what enemies were the bats often paired with?
They're mostly with the wolves, but on one occasion they're with warlocks.
Okay. And how was the fight between the bats and the warlocks? Did that bring out anything interesting?
I don't think so, because they're both just enemies that can paralyze you.
So you think maybe that was a little redundant?
Yeah. But with the wolves, saber wolves, the saber wolves can poison you. So if the bats can paralyze you, they give the saber wolves a chance to poison you.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. They can, like, team up.
Yeah.
So, Adrian, you wanted to discuss the saber wolves, right?
Yeah.
So what made those distinct for the enemies in Norfest?
Okay. The first thing is that there were wolves in Eclamata, I believe.
Saber dogs.
So, yeah, saber dogs. But what makes the wolves different, and this was something that I actually had to discover, was if you hold still, the saber wolves will they sort of go in a diagonal movement. But what they do is they will deliberately go for your blind spot. Now, as you know, Ark can only face 4 directions. Even though he has diagonal movement, he can only attack north, south, east, west. And they will deliberately go in that dead zone where you can't hit diagonal. And that was something that took me a while to notice, because I'm like, wow, these things are hitting me a lot more than I thought, because I was still using the dash attack trick. That was the first time when that trick, the dash attack didn't feel super powerful. And it's like, oh, I have to freaking pay attention to what I'm doing here, because they are exploiting that weakness where you can't hit diagonal. And that was what made them so interesting. So yeah, you kind of have to, I don't know, play footsies with them.
Yeah, I totally missed that, but that does, I mean, thinking back to all the frustrations I had with them, that's definitely why. If they attacked me head on, I could just block them with a spear.
Yeah.
So what made it similar to the other enemies in Norfest?
They are also a tracking enemy where their behavior is relative to your position. That's how they're similar to Norfest. They also like to come out of the trees or hide behind the sprites of the trees, which can definitely catch you off guard. And I believe they are paired up with, we already established they were paired up with the bats. And I'm not sure if they were paired up with the warlocks. I want to say they are, but I can't be sure 100%.
According to my notes of dubious quality, they are only paired up with bats, and then on one screen they get paired with will-o-wisps.
Will-o-wisp. What were those things? Were those the caterpillars?
No. You can't attack those, so I didn't take any notes. But
okay.
The will-o-wisps are they look like wisps, except they come out of the lake.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. They're kind of like Zolas from Legend of Zelda. They come out of the water and then they go at your position.
Yeah.
Zoras. Jesus.
Whatever. It's the first game. They're called Zola.
Yeah.
Legend of Zola.
Oh, you also mentioned that it tracked you like other enemies. But that's not... Yeah, that's what most enemies do in Terranigma, right?
Not all of them. The skeletons, for instance, they kind of just wander around, but they do have a line of sight. So there, they function more like the troops in Link to the Link to the Past. I can't speak English today. Where they wander around, but if you're in their line of sight, then they'll attack you. And sometimes they'll attack you, but then they just go back on their merry way again. So they're really more like those thieves in level 4 in Link to the Past, where they turn their head, they shoot, but then they just keep wandering around the room. So
Norfest is pretty consistent about enemies being intelligent about where you are.
Yeah. Or actually, I think the Warlocks would be the exception, because there have been moments where I was fighting a Warlock and they do that thing where they teleport and then they're sort of like barely off screen, but enough to the point where they kind of forgot where I was.
Oh yeah, and they do attack when they have a line of sight, but they also have a tendency to just wander around, right?
Yeah, same thing with the Saber Wolves, but the thing is, because the Saber Wolves, they're a bit more relentless, so when they do their little diagonal attack, they just turn around and face your direction again and try to flank you again, so
yeah,
that's where they're different. They're not attack once, go back to wander AI. It's attack and keep attacking unless you run far enough away that they're like, oh, where'd he go?
So it sounds like Norfest had like a variety of pacing, where some enemies would keep on you and other enemies would just kind of do their own thing, like the Warlocks and the Will-o-wisps might be easier to shake.
Yeah, there was definitely variation in Norfest. Terranigma, in general, I feel is pretty good with variation. I don't know. I think the only pet peeve I would have is that some enemies I would like to see them in more than just one level, but what can you do?
So Shouty, I was wondering if you had any other thoughts on how Sylvain enemies fit together, like if there were what ideas are commonly explored in enemy design and what ideas are not commonly explored in enemy design.
Like, how do you say what's not there? That's anything. It's not there. Like, I don't see any.
Like blocking. There's no enemies that can be blocked in Norfest.
Oh,
is that true?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't block the fireballs from Warlock.
Or the Will-o-wisp.
Oh. That is true.
Oh, so those questions are just trying to aim at, like, establishing the consistent theme of enemies in a dungeon. And I was wondering if any themes came out to you.
I thought the theme of Norfest was enemies that snuck up on you.
Yeah. Adrian did mention that they like to sneak out of trees, and that is...
The bats like to sneak out of trees, the Will-o-wisp like to sneak out of the lake, the Saber Wolves try to get at your blind spot.
Oh yeah, that's true. That kind of works.
And there's that dark section.
Yeah, that is pretty smart, how they let all of the enemies take advantage of that aspect of the level design.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought it was particularly compelling that, like, the bats track you, but they're pretty slow, so it takes them a while to get to you, and the Saber Wolves are pretty fast, but if they miss you, they skid and have to turn around.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting, they played off of each other well, in that they both had ways of missing you.
Yeah. There's not too many too many elements with the same speed. Because, I mean, having too many things coming at you from 8 different directions that all move at the same speed doesn't give you a way to get out of that.
Well,
So,
I think, like, Loran and Sylvain had enemies with pretty consistent speed, right?
Loran had those ghosts.
oh yeah, but they were also, the ghouls. Yeah, they were generally slow though, and they had to rely on...
Ghosts? Well, look, all the ghoul enemies were slow, but...
Yeah.
And so were, like, the skeletons and the armors and Sylvain, they were pretty slow too.
Yeah. What I mean is that, fast-moving enemies. Like, I don't think there was ever more than maybe three wolves in any given area.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually 1 or 2. Maybe 3 if they called for help and they were successful.
Yeah.
Alright. Up next, we've got another combat-centric discussion. The dash move. When Ark performs his dash attack, he's fast, he's powerful, and he's invincible. What's there to balance this? Or maybe we should back up and ask, what kind of balance do we even want? I also wanted to discuss the balance of the moveset in Terranigma. In particular, there is one offending attack that has come up previously in this very same podcast, the dash attack, which is one of your more powerful attacks. It's not quite as powerful as your jump attacks, but it's pretty close. And it also grants you quite a few invincibility frames. If you do it perfectly, I think you're invincible like all of the time, but it's hard to do perfectly. So, Mario Fan 63, with that in mind, I was wondering, do you think that the dash attack is properly balanced?
Yes. Yes is my answer. Because it gives you strength and invincibility at the same time. That's complete, I like that.
that didn't sound like you were describing balance.
What do you mean? It's balanced towards me winning.
Oh. I guess you do have to ask, what is it balanced for? So is that to say the game would be worse without it?
I don't know. I kind of button mash as it is anyway. Button mash the attack button. So I kind of consider the jump attack and the dash attacks like, these reserved mechanics for when I absolutely need them.
So most of the time you're just going around, like straight up poking stuff.
Essentially. I'm the Adel Christian mechanic.
Ark might be a little flimsy for that.
Adol doesn't need a dash attack. He just mows through everything.
So, like, the regular attack has been getting you through enemies well enough that you haven't looked into using the jump attack or dash attack except in extreme situations?
For the most part, I kind of forget they're even there.
Huh.
I mean, I've been trying to use it with, Bloody Mary, but, before that, I kind of honestly just sort of tackle on enemies, with the basic attack.
Okay. And Adrian, do you think the dash attack is balanced?
That is it's definitely a harder question for me to answer because it's kind of the thing that I've been, because I know there's a technique in Devil May Cry 3 where you can switch cancel, and it basically allows you to keep letting out attacks and letting them out fast too. And I know there's even a boss where you can pretty much jump in the air and kill him by just relentlessly attacking before you even touch the ground. That's how powerful it is, although it takes effort to do. And the thing with the dash attack and doing it consistently is that it does take effort to do. And I think they did that by putting it on the Y button and the A button on purpose so that it actually hurts my thumbs when I try to do it consistently for a long period of time. But the thing is that when you can do it, and you can do it consistently like I can, it does make the game significantly simpler. Like, I would say I would just rather straight up fight enemies in Devil May Cry 3 than using switch canceling at all. And I tried doing that for this one. I tried to not rely on it so much. The thing is that I stopped doing that around Sylvan Castle when it was getting to the point that enemies were taking so long to die that I just I'm just gonna keep doing the dash attack so I can hop back and forth between them and dash attack them to death.
Are you saying that it's balanced by being difficult to perform?
Not really. I mean, I understand the placement of the buttons a bit more now because I think they didn't want that, but it's not super impossible to do. I mean, we're not talking Smash Brothers here. We're not talking looping pit arrows or anything insane like that. Hell, we're not even talking switch canceling because even that is a pretty tight rhythm. Or actually, no, depending on which weapons you use, it's a tight rhythm or not. But I don't think making something hard to do is always the best way to make it balanced. Because the thing is, like, once you get it, and you are going to have players that will get it, the game becomes a lot simpler.
Is that to say that this just isn't balanced?
I'm thinking that, but that's the thing is, like, it's just a hypothesis. It's one that I still need to think about a lot more. Because I did think about, the difference between things being powerful, but then them also being hard to do. And I'm still kind of pondering that over a bit. So, yeah, I don't know if it's balanced. Also, I know once the wolves started getting at me in Norfest, I think that was also the point when I stopped using dash, or no, that's when I started using it again, then realizing, oh crap, this is working. And I feel like that was the point that made me think that, this thing, when you get good at it, it's actually kind of a crutch. And that's why I want to kind of play Terranigma more without relying on the dash attack so much. Unless you're fighting a boss like Bloody Mary who takes friggin' forever to kill.
So, at least in your personal experience, it did decrease your enjoyment of the game. That's what you were describing with the crutch.
Yeah, but I think as long as there's a more interesting way to play, and it's not the one that requires me to do
finger gymnastics?
Yeah, let's say that. That doesn't require me to do finger gymnastics, then you know what, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not game breaking. Or, it's easy to play in the way that's more fun, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. Shouty, do you think the dash attack is balanced?
Yeah, I think that there is enough complicated startup, and if there is a period of vulnerability after using it, that it is balanced, even though it does give you invincibility while the attack is going on, and the damage is much higher than normal attacks.
Yeah, I should also back him up on that, and that there have been times when I've tried to abuse the invincibility of the dash attack, and I've just been knocked out of it. Partly because, although that could partly be because I poorly timed it.
Yeah, the timing, not that strict. But if you try to abuse it and use it on everything, then you are going to come up against some limitations.
Or what I mean with that is, like, in the Bloody Mary fight, she has those skeletons that move around, right? Like, sometimes when I started getting lazy and not dash attacking as much, and jumping over them didn't quite work as well, I tried going back to using a dash attack, but I started not paying attention, and then I ended up dash attacking through one, but not having the space to let out the other dash attack before the other skeleton hit me. And that's what happened. Also, sometimes that thing with the Iron Soul Knights, where I dash attack and I'm still inside their sprite, so do not dash attack through them vertically, do it horizontally, because their sprite is long but it's not wide. And sometimes I ignore that because I get dumb and lazy and I pay for it.
Okay. So, Shouty, do you think the game would be worse without the dash attack?
Yeah, I don't think it would have as much sense of flow as it does now.
It keeps you moving about the room and through enemies?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Certainly having to line yourself up slowly with an enemy is going to take more time and is going to make combat more, stilted, I guess.
But you can still move around even if you miss with the dash attack.
Yeah. I guess what I would like to see is the dash attack as a weaker attack, like maybe the rapid spear attack, and then it would function largely as a dodge, and the attack would be sort of a secondary function. So that you would still have the cool moving around rules from it, but it wouldn't be the same overpowered, really strong attack.
Yeah, I think that could work because wait, doesn't one of the Zelda games have a roll?
All of the 3D ones do.
No. I mean, apparently one of the 4 swords you can roll, and
Minish Cap does that.
Minish Cap. I've never played Minish Cap. So yeah, so I think if you removed it, I don't think it'd be a big deal. I mean, Wario Fan already said that he's been mostly playing it without the dash attack, and changing it to be just a dodge move. I think that might actually balance the game out more because you have this. Because right now it functions as both an attack and a dodge because you get invincibility frames from it. So
Yeah, exactly.
if it was just a dodge, then you still have to do, classic 2D Zelda, line up your attack and hit them.
Yeah.
Instead of darting across the room, ping-ponging around. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I just ping-pong between the enemies and I can wreck them.
Yeah, you could make several GIFs of doing that in this game. So Adrian, I think you already mentioned a move that was overpowered from a game that you have played. The Switch cancel from Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah. I should mention though that one is that is not useful on every enemy. I just know that it's on some of the bosses. It can be some of the large bosses, I believe Leviathan and Beowulf. That thing can freaking destroy them. Beowulf, though, you need to be a lot more careful because he does punch around in the air. But if you do jump canceling, you can pretty much just jump over it. Well, attack him all you want. Actually, jump canceling is what you do on him, not switch canceling. Although I think switch canceling might also work. I don't know, but yeah, you can wreck him. Actually, jump canceling in general is the more powerful one, so I should have been talking about that.
Do you enjoy the game more or less because of these cancels?
I'm a bit neutral. I guess you could say they're neat, but I don't necessarily care for them.
Okay.
I don't know. It is cool when you can do something hard like that. It's like perfect shielding, like that kind of thing is just cool, but it's not the same because it's a cancel. It's something that's make you more powerful. So let's just say I'm mixed. I don't have any conclusive opinion of better or worse. I'm just like there are pros and cons.
All right, that's fair. Shouty, is there a game that with an overpowered move that you can think of?
I don't want to say it, but it's the only one I know, and it's Super Smash Bros. Melee with its wave dashing.
Ah, so does that influence your enjoyment of Super Smash Bros.?
Yeah, it does actually. Or at least Melee, and it's one of the reasons why I don't really care for competitive Melee, because it's like I compare it to snaking in Mario Kart. It's a crutch you need to know how to do in order to get into the competitive scene because everyone else is doing it because it's so useful, even though it's just an exploit.
Isn't that everything in the game? Like you need to know how the game works to play competitively?
Well, no, but you don't need to know exploits to play the game like that.
Yeah.
So you're part of your calculation of whether or not you enjoy Melee is like a consideration for what was intended by the programmers.
Yeah. Like Sakurai was going to remove it, but he kept it in anyway.
Okay.
I think the similarity between snaking and wave dashing is those are things that you need to be pretty good with your thumbs with. And the thing with both of them is that in many ways they are more powerful than your base movement almost to the point where your base movement is almost pointless. So like if you're playing competitively for Mario Kart, don't drive in a straight line. Just snake until you see a turn that you can't really snake.
So what about casual Smash then?
Casual Smash, you can have fun with that. But I mean competitive.
But yeah, Shouty, do you enjoy casual Melee?
I don't play Melee. I think it's ugly, and I don't like the characters.
So wave dashing is kind of irrelevant there.
Yeah.
Alright, it is kind of ugly.
I think it looked good.
It's the ugliest Smash Brothers.
The other two are more colorful, right?
The other two are more colorful and...
I actually don't like what they did to Mario in Brawl, where he looks
I don't like how Mario's
oddly
in Brawl.
realistic. And
I don't like how his denim... I don't like how his overalls look more denim than my jeans.
Yeah, it's like actual denim, and Bowser looks like almost realistic, like he's scaly shit. And even the actual Mario level, it's like
but Bowser's more improved in Brawl than compared to Melee. He looks like the worst Bowser I've ever seen in Melee. But overall, I think Smash 4, Wii U, and 3DS look better.
Oh yeah, it looks gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before we delve too deep on Smash, I was wondering, Wario fan, can you think of any overpowered moves from games that you've played?
I can't think of a specific move, but I remember when I was playing Dragon Quest VII for PlayStation Uno, that game was so heavily built on, job classes, and there were job classes you could only access if you got very advanced in other job classes, and so on. And there's some ultra powerful move you could get if you had mastered a job class that you could only join if you had mastered several other job classes. So I remember working really hard with my entire party so that they would all learn that move.
Wow.
And then, or I don't know if it was the entire party, but I'm sure I had more than one person know it. And I would use that on all these boss monsters, and I would just feel like, king of the world there.
So that increased your enjoyment of Dragon Quest VII.
It did, because there are a couple optional bosses and whatnot I was having trouble with, and I would plow through them out, and that was just boom.
What about the time it took to master that skill? Was that, did you enjoy that?
Honestly, yes. I think the way Dragon Quest VII handled the job advancement was just kind of fun for me, I think, because it was less based on specific experience points go to that job class, but it was just very simplistic in that each battle would advance the job class one level just for fighting in the battle as that job class.
Okay.
So it was just, I think they might have fixed it for the remake actually, but honestly, I kind of had fun grinding in that game.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
I was worried you were going to start talking about job canceling.
No. Switch to Blue Mage. Oh, cancel that. Oh no. Oh, jeez. So I don't know if that was, the best example, but I think I'm more of a brute force sort of player though, so.
No, I think that's appropriate. That with the dashing and with the cancels in DMC3 and the wave dashing in Melee, a pretty consistent thread is that it takes some level of mastery to get to the point where you have this move that can be abused. And it sounded like in Dragon Quest VII, it was quite a long path to get to that point.
Definitely.
Want to know one that isn't hard to use?
Let's have it.
So, this is going to be another answer before you get your turn to answer this question, and that is Metal Man's Metal Blade in Mega Man 2.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Actually, that's the one I thought of when writing this question, and then I totally forgot about it until you just said it.
Oh, well, looks like I answered it for you. So, Greg, why do you think this move is overpowered?
I mean, it doesn't work on everything, but certainly it works on a lot of things, and Mega Man is often balanced so that enemies are just outside of your range of fire, and you have to expend some effort getting them into your range. And the weapon set in Mega Man 2 is balanced so that you have different ways of getting at different ranges, where so the leaf shield can go up, down, left, and right, and it can cut through swaths of enemies, and the air shooter will go up, and the bubble lead will go down, but the Metal Blade kind of borks the whole system by just saying it can go anywhere you friggin' want at any time, and it goes really quickly. And it also does a lot of damage.
And you can also use it a lot.
But that increases my enjoyment of Mega Man 2. So for Terranigma, that dashing move decreased my enjoyment because naturally I want to dash and move quickly. and asking me to walk the whole time just to experience combat properly kind of sucks. But in Mega Man 2, it's not mechanically difficult not to select the Metal Blade. And if I want to have just like a casual Mega Man 2 experience where I mow down stuff with the Metal Blade, then I can do that. So, for me, the difference between playthroughs is more meaningful than in most Mega Man games. And, I wouldn't want an abusive weapon in each Mega Man game. It kind of makes Mega Man 2 unique in that it does have the abusable weapon. And I think it's appropriate that that has not been repeated.
So Mega Man 2 is everyone's favorite?
I never thought... Actually, I have no idea which Mega Man is everyone's favorite, but I would not assume it was Mega Man 2. I would assume it would be like 3 or something.
2 and 3 are the ones people talk about a whole lot, but honestly, I don't. I mean, Mega Man games are all so similar, and they're all so technically minded that I think you would need to, like, casual commentary from what Joe Blow on the internet thinks is the best Mega Man game is not going to be a good source on anything about Mega Man.
Yeah, for all I know,
I'm not looking for good source. I'm looking or technical analysis. I'm looking for what people just like, what their opinions are.
Yeah,
I always thought it was Mega Man 2 was the best because it has the best music, the best. It's a really good sequel.
Yeah, even if it's just the average Joe opinion. Although if you ask me, I think Mega Man 9 and 10 are way better than 2.
Say in that case, Joe Blow would say 2 is his favorite.
Yeah.
And I would say I don't care if it's your favorite.
Well, Joe Blow is, he's
listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Hi, Joe.
Hello, Joe.
What was that?
Also, for all I know, Mega Man's 4, 5, and 6 could easily be better than 2.
Oh, friggin'. Oh my god, this could easily turn into Mega Man Cast, but we should record the conclusion first.
We should not. Didn't you have something like that, at one time, Golem?
Eric Lee Lewis. We recorded 1 and 2, and then... Adrian, you might recognize this question. Wario Fan 63, you've played Pikmin, right?
I have.
Is it an RTS?
I think yes. I think, well, I don't see a whole lot of what... My impression from StarCraft is that, like, you micromanage and tell things what to do, and you watch it all happen in real time from, like, a god perspective. But Pikmin does that, but you're actually taking part in the field. So it's like sort of a sub thing of RTS, I think.
Like an action
It's
RTS?
a MOBA.
Yeah.
Or a MOBA. MOBA would make more sense.
No, it's not a MOBA.
It's
I
not?
was joking.
Oh, it's...
I was
I honestly don't know how MOBAs work.
Well, the first word in MOBA is multiplayer, so...
Oh. Then, that would,
So
like
I don't think
Olimar
it's
does.
an RTS in the traditional sense of what RTS usually means, but I think it could fall as like a specific type of RTS.
A subset or something?
A sub-genre.
A tangent?
That's right.
An alternate timeline?
Exactly, in AU.
A genre which only Pikmin occupies. And maybe Herzog's Way to a lesser extent.
I think, Battalion Wars was almost like that, but kind of not.
I've never played it.
And then they always tell me Overlord games are kind of like it too.
Oh yeah, Overlord. Man, Game Hikers love that.
Huh.
So, Shouty, is Pikmin an RTS?
Well, I don't play it like one, if that's what you mean.
Okay, what is the difference between your play style in an RTS and in Pikmin?
I think, in like an RTS, I try to actually micromanage units. But in Pikmin, I don't really have that much of an opportunity. Like I just try to get the number required for each piece of fruit, ship part, or treasure, depending on which game I'm playing, or I just swarm enemies at any opportunity. I don't really think about the number of units I am assigned to each task, unless it's the bare minimum required to do so.
Even though you might have like 56 Pikmin, you just treat it as like one whole that is 56 big.
I treat it as my ammo more than what I'm gonna do with them.
I see.
So like Yoshi eggs.
Yeah, it's more like Yoshi eggs.
So you wouldn't have like 32 on task A and 16 on task B?
No.
Okay. That is an important distinction.
I play it more like an action game than an RTS.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a subgenre it is. Action RTS.
You'd think that, but I don't know.
You do get micromanagement with the multiple captains, right?
Yeah, Pikmin 3 definitely tries to make it more like an RTS with moving around the different captains. So and you have to strategize within the mission modes.
Oh, I still haven't played those. Should I?
Only if you're like Pikmin style strategy. I feel like there was more effort put into the mission modes than the story mode.
Oh, really?
At times, but even though I prefer the story mode over the mission modes, there's definitely more interesting enemy placement in mission mode than in story mode.
So mission mode was more like the challenges were more interesting.
Yeah.
And Adrian, is Pikmin an RTS?
Battle mode is without a doubt an RTS. Like, there's no action part to that. You have to play that like an RTS if you want to get anywhere. Because it's about either stealing your opponent's marble or collecting 4 yellow marbles. And you kind of have to balance 2 different goals, because even if you try to go for their marble, which is in itself is already kind of hard because they're going to defend their base, if they just collect the 4 yellow marbles, that's it. They won. So that sort of balance between 2 different goals definitely brings out more of the RTS aspect in Pikmin 2. They don't do that in Pikmin 3, I think. I think they have the bingo battle.
No, they do. Yeah, the bingo battle.
Yeah, but it's
that's
not
just
the...
like looking at your bingo card and see what you need. It's like a checklist more than an RTS, I guess.
I think it still accomplishes the same thing. The difference is that instead of 4 marbles, it's 4 whatever the hell you need to get, and then you gotta go get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you can see the other person's bingo card, you can get in their way, make it harder for them to get what they need.
I think you both have the same bingo card, actually.
Oh, so you're gonna be fighting over the same stuff then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, Pikmin multiplayer, when it's not co-op, definitely an RTS. Pikmin single player, I only played Pikmin 2, but the single player, you can play it like an RTS. I know I did. I tried to beat Pikmin 2 in 14 days because I thought that was the actual time limit, but the strategy guide, I was not reading the strategy guide properly. It says, here's how you can beat Pikmin 2 in 14 days, not you have to beat it. So, yeah, I imposed that challenge on myself, but yeah. You can play it like an RTS, but because of the lack of a time limit, it's not like Pikmin 1 where you have to do that. You can kind of take as long as you want, although you'll find that you'll be very slow if you do take things like that. If you don't play it like an RTS, getting the treasures will definitely take you much longer than if you were to play like an RTS. I guess you can say that's that difficulty scaling where you can decide whether or not you even want to use the 2 different captains or just always keep them together.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Yeah. What about you, Greg?
I guess I always thought of it as an RTS. Just because...
That's what I wanted you to believe.
But I always felt like I wasn't doing it right, in that I was playing it like Shouty.
But that's how I enjoy it. That's why I enjoy the boss, the You can play against just the bosses in mission mode, and I really enjoyed that.
Okay, that I could see engaging, but just like collecting X Pikmin and then walking up to a wall and taking down the wall, and then your mission is over, like that's not interesting gameplay. Yeah. But I was never skilled enough to like multitask and make the gameplay interesting.
Yeah.
I don't find multitasking to be fun.
Oh.
It's just something I might have to do.
It's a job.
Pikmin 1. Yeah. I haven't played Pikmin 1, but I know that was the big deal about Pikmin 1.
It's either a job or a side effect of ADD.
Yeah, Pikmin 1 forced you to do that more.
Yeah, Pikmin 1 has a lot of focus.
Yeah. And I remember Richard said, I remember his exact words was like, they went the Yoshi's Island route with Pikmin 2, where they basically just let you take as long as you want. I mean, minus the day timer. But when you're in the dungeons, yeah, you can take as long as you want. Of course.
What do you mean by Yoshi's Island route?
Oh, the fact that Mario has a timer, Yoshi's Island does not.
Oh.
So you can take as long as you want trying to find whatever secrets, red coins, flower thingies, etc. By the way, I've never actually played the original Yoshi's Island.
Oh my.
Yoshi's New Island is the first Yoshi game I've ever played, and I'm playing it right now.
God.
It's pretty faithful to the original.
Yeah.
Take that as what you will from someone like Golem.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Yoshi's Island.
Well, I don't know if I am either, because, well, I've only done the first world, and so far it's okay, it's not that easy, I have died, but, it is definitely it is definitely not like a Mario game. It's that, just the whole egg tossing thing, that's different. I did play Yoshi's Story, but even that game isn't like this one where...
No, they're really different.
I prefer the egg tossing in Yoshi's Story.
I prefer egg tossing in Yoshi's Island.
Oh. Well, I don't like how you get to bounce eggs.
Yeah.
So, Shouty, any final words?
Drink hot water after brushing your teeth and you'll get the taste out.
Oh, it's a good tip. Adrian, any final words?
No.
Alright, that is a good final word. WarioFan63, any final words?
Are these gonna be my final words?
That's a little morbid.
Oh god.
For a game podcast.
Oh god.
I don't think anything's too morbid for a game podcast.
I'll put that one in my notebook, Shouty.
You'll be eating those words later.
You're right.
Alright, well, thanks for joining me through this kind of confused investigation of Terranigma combat. Later.
All music on this podcast was taken from Terranigma. I'll leave you with this final thought. Elements in one part of a game will complement each other, and between different parts of the game, the elements from those parts will complement each other too. How big is the difference between elements? How big is the difference between groups of elements? What do they share in common? Get a handle on these